my name is Madeline and welcome to my channel, Cozy Cottage Chapters, and welcome to my winter TBR video. I have been really enjoying making these seasonal TBRs, and I think this one is my best one yet. There's something just so cozy about wintertime reading. I think it's maybe my favorite reading season. It is not my favorite season to live in, but I love winter reading. There's just something so cozy and so wonderful about a book that can just really transport you into the environment and make you feel cold and make you just feel like you're there. And there's just something about winter books that so very, very well. I am very excited about winter reading. For my TBR, I decided to keep it exclusively wintry books that take place in winter, that have snow, that have cold, that just give you all of those winter vibes. And most of them have very wintry covers as well, so they just look super, super wintry to me. So yes, these are not necessarily the books that I'm going to pick up the quickest, but these are just wintry books for when I'm in the mood for that kind of seasonal reading. As is usually the case, I've got a wide variety of books here. In terms of genres, there's middle grade, there's historical fiction, there's some mystery, fantasy, I believe. There's a little bit of everything, which is good because I don't really know what I'm going to be in the mood for, and I want to be able to grab kind of from any genre something wintry. So that's enough of an intro. Let's just jump into the books. So I actually only have two physical books. This is a very ebook heavy TBR, which is a good thing because I've been reading a lot of ebooks lately. So I only have two physical books on my TBR. Both of them I talked about in January's TBR, but I'm going to talk about them more here because I didn't give that much information about them. The first one I have is Winter Garden by Kristin Hannah. This is actually a reread for me. I read it maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I really don't remember a single thing about this book except that there's a mother and she has some secrets. And that's really it. That's pretty vague. To reread this to see if I even want to keep it on my bookshelves, if it's worth keeping as a physical book. Let's read the back. Meredith and Nina Whitson are as different as sisters can be. One stayed at home to raise her children and manage the family apple orchard. The other followed a dream and traveled the world to become a famous photojournalist. But when their beloved father falls ill, these two estranged women will find themselves together again, standing alongside their cold, disapproving mother, Anya, who even now offers no comfort to her daughters. On his deathbed, their father extracts one last promise from the women in his life. It begins with a story that is unlike anything the sisters have heard before, a captivating, mysterious love story that spans 65 years and moves from frozen, war-torn Leningrad to modern-day Alaska. The vivid imagined tale brings these three women together in a way that none of them could have expected. Meredith and Nina will finally learn the secret of their mother's past and uncover a truth so terrible it will shake the foundations of their family and change who they think they are. All right, I love Alaska and Russia setting, so I'm very, very excited about this. I'm a little nervous because I feel like Kristin Hannah in terms of content can be a little hit or miss for me, but I'm going to give this a try and see what I think about it. I might actually look at getting the audiobook for this and listening to it. That might be kind of a fun way to reread this book. One is a middle grade, and that is Astrid the Unstoppable by Maria Parr. I mean, look at how charming this little cover is, and the back of it is illustrated in the same way. It's so sweet. I adore this. This is originally written in Norwegian and then translated. It says, Astrid Glimmerdal loves to spend her days racing down the mountainside on her sledge and skis. The faster, the better. She just wishes there were other children to share her adventures. She is thrilled when a new family comes to stay for the holidays, but things don't get off to a good start. Then Astrid discovers that Gunvald, her grumpy best friend, has been keeping a big secret from her. Everything is changing in Astrid's world, and she's not happy about it. Luckily, she has a plan. Sounds super lovely. I think the best friend is like an old grumpy kind of man, and I love multi-generational friendship stories between like little kids and grumpy old people. I just think that's so much fun. There's also a map in the beginning of this book, and I love a book with a good map. So I'm really excited to read this. I think this is gonna have such winter cozy, wholesome kind of vibes, like a children's classic book, but with a more modern storyline is what I'm hoping for this one. Next up is Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. This is telling of Snow White and Rose Red. It says, Snow and Rose didn't know they were in a fairy tale. People never do. Once they lived in a big house with spectacular gardens and an army of servants. Once they had a father and mother who loved them more than the sun and moon. But that was before their father disappeared into the woods and their mother disappeared into sorrow. This is the story of two sisters and the enchanted woods that have been waiting for them to break a set of terrible spells. This has been on my radar for years now, and I really hope I get to it because it's not very long. It is only like 200 pages, so I should be able to do that. Next is Greenglass House by Kate Milford. This has a super wintry cover. I mean, you can't get better than that. It is middle grade. There's a bit of a mystery to it. It takes place in a hotel, I believe. Yes, it's wintertime at Greenglass House. The creaky Smuggler's Inn is always quiet during the season, and 12-year-old Milo, the innkeeper's adopted son, plans to spend his holidays relaxing. But on the first icy night of vacation, out of nowhere, the guest bell rings, then rings again and again. Soon, Milo's home is bursting with odd, secretive guests, each one bearing a strange story that is somehow connected to the rambling old house. As objects go missing and tempers flare, Milo and Meddy, the cook's daughter, must decipher clues and untangle the web of deepening mysteries to discover the truth about Greenglass House and themselves. This sounds super fun. I'm so excited. This is definitely going high up on my TBR because I am just in such a mystery mood lately. There's something about mysteries in wintertime, and I'm here for it. Up is Caddie, Woodlawn by Ryrie Brink. I've read a few books by this author and really enjoyed them, and I'm excited to read this because this seems very wintry. So Caddie Woodlawn is a real adventurer. She'd rather hunt than sew and plow than bake, and tries her best and tries to beat her brother's dares every chance she gets. Caddie is friends with Indians who scare most of the neighbors who, like her mother and sister, don't understand her at all. Caddie is brave, and her story is special because it's based on the life and memories of Ryrie Brink's grandmother, the real Caddie Woodlawn. Her spirit and sense of fun have made this book a classic that readers have taken to their hearts for more than 70 years. Okay, this seems super lovely. I'm very excited to read this. Very wholesome, sweet middle grade. Next up is Angel on the Square by Gloria Whelan. This is another Russian setting book. There's a bit of a theme going on here. Obviously, cold winter Russian books are very good for wintertime. This is also middle grade, a whole lot of middle grade on here. In the fall of 1914, safe behind palace walls, Katya Ivanova sees St. Petersburg as a magical place. The daughter of a lady-in-waiting to the Empress, Katya spends all her time with the Grand Duchess. The royal family feels like her own. But outside the palace, a terrible war is sweeping through Europe, and Russia is beginning to crumble under the weight of a growing revolution. Now, as Katya's once certain future begins to dissolve, she must seek to understand what is happening to her beloved country and, for the first time in her life, take charge of her own destiny. I haven't heard anybody talking about this book. I don't really remember where I stumbled across it, but it sounds absolutely lovely. Like I said, I love a Russian setting, especially right kind of in the early days of the Russian Revolution, or right prior to that. I find really fascinating. And this is a series. There are 4 books, I believe, in this series. So I'm excited. If I enjoy this, I have more to read. Then I have a Betty Neels book. I read my first Betty Neels in November and really enjoyed it. This one is When Two Paths Meet. I literally just chose it because its cover seemed wintry and cold. Her plot lines are all kind of similar in her books, so there's not much surprise kind of in what you're getting, but I think that can be a good thing when I'm just wanting something that I know I will enjoy, and kind of helps you kind of get out of a reading slump, I find, to have something that you know you're going to enjoy. I won't read a summary of that because it's probably this woman who falls in love with a doctor, maybe he's Dutch, and it's a love story. It's very sweet, very wholesome, very nice. Then we have The Woods in Winter by Stella Gibbons, another one, very, very wintry, snowy cover. This is actually on my January TBR because it is Jen from Jen's Reading Life, her book club pick for the month of January. So I'm hoping to read it in time to participate in the book club. Let's see what the description says. Okay. Ivy Glover, thrice married and widowed, has been a char since the age of 12, and she was at it still, living in a drab, swarming square near Hampstead Heath, where her great uncle died. She was left a lonely cottage near the village of Nethersham, with its hills and beech woods. Ivy liked the country. She had gypsy blood, which made her fearless, independent, and utterly content with the company of her dog, rescued unknown to the law from his undeserving owners. Ivy wanted nothing of the outside world, but she could not cut herself off completely. One visitor at least was welcome, the runaway boy Mike, who came in from the freezing night to share her fire. Any stray, any sick of suffering creature went straight to her heart. They have the story between like a friendship between an adult and a child, which is very lovely, and I'm excited to read this. Then we have Midwinter Murder by Agatha Christie. Like I said, I'm in a bit of a mystery reading mood, and I plan on actually listening to this one on audio because I have really enjoyed just listening to short stories by audiobook. I just find it's really easy to just like listen to one story at a time and just kind of get like a bite-sized reading experience in that way. I have not read any of Agatha Christie's short stories, so this will be fun. I do have this massive collection of the Poirot short stories. This has all of them in it. I believe there's 50 something short stories, 51. So I plan on listening to Midwinter Murders and then going in and marking if there are any Poirot stories, which I imagine there will be, a couple at least, marking those in here kind of with my rating so that I can keep track of how I'm doing on the Poirot ones. Then we have The Frozen River by Ariel Lahon. I've heard amazing things about this book. It's kind of made its way across BookTube, which makes me a little hesitant of like new release popular BookTube books. But so many people have said really good things about this one that I want to give it a try, and it's very, very wintry, the cover. I am also a little hesitant because I know it deals with some heavier kind of content, so I don't know if I will really be in the mood for this, but it's there if possibly I am looking for something like that. I believe there's like a mystery element to it. The book starts off with a body being found in this river, and we follow, I believe, a midwife. And, you know, there's a variety of kind of hard things that happen in this story, but it is based on a true story, which is interesting. I don't really know how much I'm in the headspace for this kind of book, but we'll see. I have it on hold from the library, and it's a very long wait time, so I don't even know if I'm going to get it in time to read it in winter, so we'll just see. Anyways, those are the books I'm hoping to get to this winter. Like I said, I might not get to all of them, but this is just kind of a list of winter cozy reads that I can make my way through. Let me know below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and if you have any books that you are looking forward to reading this winter, let me know that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!